me up to go to jail. And then we get a jump cut. So this is not a continuous moment. Like, they literally cut out something in between, because then we get to see Monet responding to her saying that, get to the bottom of this, you need to figure out what's going on, find out as much information as you can. And this is going to be Monet's famous last words, because the fact that she actually told Diana to go figure out as much information as she possibly can, thinking that she was ahead of her, or so far ahead of her that she wouldn't have to worry about part of the information coming out about Lorenzo, is wild to me. The last thing that Monet should be doing is pushing Diana to figure out any damn thing. She needs to lean back into her bag of like trying to figure out things for her, because the way that she's trying to manipulate so many things happening with all of her kids, she's losing control and doesn't even realize it. Now, the part that I would really want to focus on is like the next scene after that is Diana's looking at what I think is going to be Whitman's file, but she's in Tariq's room. And when I first watched this, I didn't pick up on it. I actually went back and I watched the other episodes and I really tracked it. So in episode 1, Tariq's room is different because he just moved in, right? He had to go, and Tate had to vouch for him with the dean to get him some new housing after he got kicked out of the room that him and Brayden was in. Then we go into episode 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we get to see him. And there's various moments specifically with him interacting with Brayden and EFFIE, as well as EFFIE, because they have a bunch of like little lovey couple little moments. But you can see that the poster that's on the wall behind, or on the door behind Diana in this episode, or in this clip, it doesn't make it to his door until episode 3, I believe. And then it's on that door from that moment on. And I'm just wondering, why the hell is Diana in Tariq's room? Erica. Okay, next better question is, why is Whitman's file in Tariq's room? And this is the part that Monet is not ready for. While she's like, okay, Diana, go ahead on this little dummy mission, because Monet knows that Tariq did not set Diana up to go to jail. And I believe that she's encouraging her in this moment only to keep Diana busy. But this comes back to bite her, because while she did get rid of her version or her copy of Whitman's file that Davis gave her, somehow Tariq has gotten Davis's copy. And I think that is Davis's copy because after this, we get to see Tariq go later on in the trailer and is talking to Davis, and he mentions like he saw a photo of a file, and Davis pulls out the file and asks him, is it that file? And then he gives him further context and clarity on what this file actually is. And I really don't believe that Tariq got a hold of Monet's file, because I don't see Monet handing Tariq over such powerful information. Even though she does trust Tariq out of all her damn kids, I don't feel like she would hand over this information for it to randomly pop up or be seen by her kids potentially. So again, I really believe that this is not what Monet had in store to put the battery in Diana's back to go and suss out Tariq, and it's going to wind up biting her in the behind. In one fell swoop, Diana is going to switch her mission from figuring out if Tariq had anything to do with setting her up to turning all of her vitriol, all of her venom, to the start of her villain origin story. And the first person she's coming after is the person who had her poppy taken from her, which is Monet Tejada. Now, going back to the top of the trailer, after we get the moment of Diana in Tariq's room, which she broke into just so that she could try to get this information, because sis is really trying to be a gangster now. We get to see a little Johnny Cochran. That's what y'all calling him. Y'all calling him Simp Cochran. Kane Tejada pops up in a nice little suit, giving all types of Poindexter, sitting across from EFFIE in what looks like a lawyer situation in an interrogation room. And he is literally begging EFFIE to go ahead and flip on Tariq. And what I'm taking from this is that Kane is being incredibly short-sighted. That's it. He could not have possibly thought this through, because at the end of the day, if Tariq falls, they pretty much all fall. It would just be a matter of time. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that I do believe that Kane understands that Monet would fall next or be roped up with Tariq as well, which is why he's actually pushing for Tariq to get flipped on and to get snatched up, because I think that Kane is ready for Monet to step aside. And one of the things that we have seen play out multiple times within the Power universe is how people take out or put out of commission the people that they they love, who they find in their way. And it's not always a bullet. Like sometimes it's dramatic like that. Tariq killed Ghost. Okay, cool. But like one of the very first big betrayals that we learn about in the Power universe is how Tasha and Ghost set up Kanan to go to jail. They didn't want to kill him, but they needed him out the way so that they can assume the business and go forth and do what, you know, Ghost had planned. And I think that that is something that Kane is thinking about in this moment. He's able to kill two birds with one stone. He's able to take out his enemy Tariq, because this is going to always be his arch nemesis, regardless of how he's playing it cool, calm, and collected right now in this season. And then he's also able to move his mom out the way without actually having to put a bullet in her. Sending Monet to jail would still keep her roped into the family. He could take care of her while in jail, but then he would step up and be able to lead in this family. And then a little consolation prize, his girl get to walk free, and in his dreams of the happy life with his gangster ass down for whatever wife in EFFIE, because y'all, I believe that Kane has delusions of grandeur in reference to what his relationship could look like with EFFIE, and it ain't never gonna happen, but okay, sir. I feel like he believes that pushing over this Tariq domino will be the one thing that's going to help him get everything that he wants, which is why he's going so hard for it. So initially I thought like, oh, he's really feeling EFFIE, he just want EFFIE to save herself, but no, he's also getting something out of this. He's getting to get Monet out of the way. He's going to be able to get the girl, and he's also going to be able to neutralize Tariq. And I think that he is perfectly fine with figuring out how to deal with Brayden and Noma and all of them on the back end. Now that scene is followed by Jenny, Blanca, and Medina, who is back, and Jenny is briefing them, telling them that EFFIE needs to flip or else the case is over. And before I go further in the trailer, I'm gonna go back to the Kane and EFFIE scene, because EFFIE don't look like she's actually being that convinced by Kane to flip on Tariq. I am going to make a video about EFFIE and if she's actually going to flip and turn Tariq in, or what she's going to do. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss when I post that video, because I think that there's a lot of complicated conversation that could be had about her decision to do so or not to do so. And honestly, Jenny is right. EFFIE is going to be the key with Saxe's death and his complicated, he a CI, but also working for Davis, him crossing certain boundaries and doing certain illegal things to get things done and to push things through, Jenny cutting certain corners. All of that has tainted the original Rico case that they were building, and their hope and a prayer right now is EFFIE and her tie to Lauren. The weight of the attempted murder on Lauren, they're hoping it's going to be enough to get EFFIE to flip. Now the next scene that follows is probably the most confusing one to me out of the entire trailer, and it's a scene with Drew and Kane. I definitely believe that these two masked men are Drew and Kane, wearing basically like gas masks or oxygen masks, opening up the door at the Castillo's little diner or whatever in Brooklyn, and it's clear that they drugged or maybe smoke bombed, did some kind of aerosol attack on the people that were inside. It's not clear if they're actually dead or if they're just knocked out. I guess this is going to be Drew's elaborate plan, because the following scene is Monet talking about they're not going to stop coming for you. The Castillos are definitely hunting Drew behind Gordo's disappearance, and they want answers, and this is probably his plan to figure out how to neutralize them. I personally believe he's going to have to drop every last one of them, but if he wants to come up with some kind of RoboCop ass mission and do all this extra stuff, then I guess. But the clean, easy solve is a bullet in all of them, point blank period, including Evelyn. But we're gonna see what Drew cooks up, because you know he got nothing but time on his hands, nothing but anger in his heart, and savagery and a little bit of brains. So we're gonna see how that plays out. After that, it's a very quick scene of Tariq walking on the street, and it looks like some little random white man in the suit got a little slow bop or jog to him. I don't know if that man is tied to Tariq or is trying to get his attention or whatever, and Tariq is trying to get away. It happened so quickly that it's not really clear, but I just wanted to point that out. And the final scene I've already talked about a little bit in reference to Davis showing Tariq the Whitman file, and then Davis getting very agitated, knocking over his bar cart, and talking about how this could F them before the trailer ends. Y'all, episode 9 is going to be electric. I think that 9 and 10 are going to be huge setup episodes, and not in a way of like filler or anything, but like we're going to get some resolutions, but it's really going to set us up for season 4, because a bunch of people could go to jail. Somebody else is still going to die. Like, things are about to really get real. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comment section down below